Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Christine Day.
Hello, everybody. It's so good to be here. It feels like it's been a while, and it has. I think I was here in May, and wow, this year has flown by. I dislodged my patella, so this chair's for me to sit on, but right now I think I need to stand. Now. So I just want to acknowledge us all together this Sunday. It feels like a special time for us to gather, and I know you gather each Sunday together here, but it always touches my heart to be here and be part of this. And even though I'm not always present, it still really fills my heart to know I'm in some way a part of this community, and it's always felt the right thing to do is to be here. So, we're talking about when we align. That's the month's topic, so to speak. And I was getting some guidance this morning from the Pleiadians. They were sharing with me just how important they feel it is for me to start opening things up a little more here with each one of you this morning as I speak, and to bring much more of a clarity and an understanding to each one of you in order for you to be more self-empowered and step forward, because clarity is power. It's only when you understand and have a clarity about something that you can truly step forward into that. And not just so much using jargon, oh, yes, it's wonderful to align, but what does that mean? And I look at it from my own perspective, and I've been very much entrenched in the multidimensional worlds for many, many years now. And I get to see and directly experience the changes that are happening on the earth plane at this time, the energetic changes. And I think what I want to start to do is to share that perspective with you of what is really taking place to support you in unfolding at this time. What is available? What is opening up? It's like a whole energetic framework on the earth plane right now is transforming. For lifetimes we're in almost like a grid, a strong, heavy, almost like immovable grid of illusion. And that's where we live. We live through that illusion of our limitation with the fear and the struggle and the lack, and just seeing ourselves in our humanness and having that fully human experience, which we've come here to do, it's true. But through the changing dimensional shifts that are coming onto the planet, now what does that mean? There's another whole sentence of jargon, really, but what does it mean? It means that grid, that third dimensional grid, has becoming more fluid. And actually within the grid, veils are lifting, and the grid, some of it is actually dissolving to enable you to come more into that sacred alignment to your higher self. Now, what does that mean? Because what does higher self mean? It's like all of these words. What do they really mean? Your higher self is the other part, your own sacredness. You have your human component, you have your spiritual component. And this is the time for a transitional phase, for you to move from being in just your human state and begin to move yourself to align into the vista of your sacred multidimensionality, your unlimited capacity, your sacredness that you are. That is an important component of your makeup. And right now, our role is to align fully to that which we are within the sacred that we are. And that grid, that framework is changing. The whole energetic framework of our earth plane has gone from that tight grid to a soft, open flow where the veils are lifting and doorways are opening in order for you to align much more easily, much more readily to that sacred part of yourself. When I've heard the words, when we align, two things came to me. It was the alignment to ourselves, to that sacred part of ourselves, and then the alignment that we have with each other as a community. There's two separate things that sentence or those words bring up for me. But what comes clear, and what I know to be true through my own direct experience, is that until we choose alignment of ourself to that sacred element and start shifting the old habits of just being human and seeing ourselves more as multidimensional beings with an unlimited potential, an unlimited power, then we can't truly align with each other, because it's through the sacredness of the God consciousness state that exists within each one of us that we can truly, authentically be with each other. That's the meeting point. And this is an important piece to really understand. Now, the ego mind, it does not understand anything but the illusion. That's where it's comfortable. That's your humanness. It misinterprets everything else. So it lives within the illusion, within the limitation, with the fear and the struggle and the lack and the limited belief systems of who you are on a grander scale. And that's okay. That human part has done its role. It's played its role out perfectly. And it doesn't have to die. We know that. It just simply has to adjust its role and support you in living, but not make all the decisions. That's all it is. It has to know that we need the ego mind to help us organize our lives, to make shopping lists, to add up numbers, to live on this third dimensional world on a certain level. And then there's a sacred part of ourselves. Now, how do we make that transition from human into that spiritual aspect of yourself? That's the key piece. And that is the piece where the Pleiadians were talking to me this morning and saying, this is where you need a breaking down and an understanding of how you navigate your way into that arena. It doesn't mean that some of you aren't already working within that arena of yourselves. But how do you bring it into the ordinary, mundane moments of your life? Because the ego mind, it'll say, okay, I'm going to do this perfectly. I'm going to do it completely. And that's just not possible, because in your imperfection as a human being, and that's part of your sacredness, is your imperfection, having your human experience, you cannot expect to do it perfectly, and nor do you need to. That's what you all have to get. You don't have to do it perfectly. But you begin in those ordinary, mundane moments. You don't wait for a crisis to start trying to align to your sacredness. That's not the time to do it. The time to do it is in the moment where you first wake up in the morning and you consciously choose to reach towards the vastness of your heart, which is your multidimensional tool, which is where your sacredness exists, and just gently place a hand here on your heart and breathe within the ordinary moment of waking up in your bed and just breathing and letting go and feeling you in that moment. It's about slowing down, opening your awareness back to yourself, into your heart, and just taking that conscious breath. That's the breath in and out the mouth that bypasses the ego mind It allows you to gently enter that which is sacred in you. Within that ordinary moment of awaking in the morning, just breathe and let go and just spend 5 minutes within that space. You see, it's in the very ordinary, simple moments that we unfold, that we witness and glimpse who we are within our sacred nature. It's not in the big gestures. And the ego mind wants to look for the grand, the big, I learned a long time ago, the Pleiadians said, become the plain, not the mountain. Always become the plain. Don't look to be the mountain. Because it's within the plain, within the simple, ordinary moments that we are revealed to ourselves. And I've always listened to that. And that's always been my focus. Is to coming into the moment of that ordinary space of me with my own heart. And then feeling the depth of the essence of myself rising up through my heart in that silence. Now remember, this is a building process. The ego mind will say, oh, is that all? Really? See, I knew you wouldn't be able to do it. Because understand, the ego mind will not be able to relate to anything that's within your heart, that's part of your sacred, because it's 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th dimensional. And your ego mind only understands 3rd dimension, limitation, fear, struggle. And it misinterprets and misunderstands what is truth in that moment. So it's only when you come into your heart and slow down and breathe and just let go. It's just letting go. Just for that moment in time. 1 moment, that's all you're looking for. Not an hour, not half an hour. 1 moment of reconnection to your authenticity of that sacred, that's alignment. You aligning with you. And that 1 moment of alignment in that time goes right through every cell. Every cell in your body responds to you and your reconnection to this space of yourself, this alignment to the sacred that you are. You are unlimited in that form. Now, every time you choose to come in, and again, it's for 1 moment only, that you come back to owning your heart as your multi-dimensional tool. And you just simply touch it with your awareness. You put your hand here, you touch it with your awareness, you take that conscious breath in and out the mouth. And you let go. Let go of the limitation, of the struggle, of the worry, of the fear. And you just let go and trust just in that moment and be. You rest there in that space. The resting is essential because we're all tired from the struggle of trying to get it right, trying to do it perfectly. And it's about letting all of that go And understanding that human part of yourself is never going to get it right, never going to do it perfectly. And that you just take that simple breath and let go in that moment for alignment. And that is enough. In that moment, you are enough. You're engaging with this other aspect of yourself. You're aligning. That's alignment. Simple. Simple. You're not looking for grand fireworks, grand understandings, huge moments, spiritual highs, which are totally overrated. They're meaningless. They are meaningless, these spiritual highs. Because you have to come back to the ordinariness of each moment. That is where the depth of meaning is. That's where you are, where you meet yourself. And then when you go to that spiritual high and you grab hold of it and you try and keep it, and it goes and it's gone. And somehow, what did I do wrong? I wasn't able to hold it together. We are never meant to hold it together. This alignment is a step-by-step, moment-by-moment process of unfolding within you, and it's all about you. And it's not about anybody else. This is a unique journey, yes, that moves you and allows you to become more in the world because of who you are and what you're unleashing within yourself, what you're opening. You're reopening your container, your sacred container of light. It's true, you are. But it's about building that strength, that fortification of your sacredness, and allowing it to come in and become a natural flow within your life, your everyday third dimensional life. And so many people say, well, how am I going to cope when I become awakened, when I'm fully aligned? Well, you cope actually really well. Because you flow through third dimensional world, you witness the drama, you don't become engaged in it. And the essence of your light flows outwards to others naturally. You're not trying to bring your light to others, tell everyone how amazing you are. I've got all this light now, I can help you, I can heal you. I mean, that is the grandiose of the ego mind. The story of the ego mind that wants you to be this grand, important person, but you already are divinely unique. That which you are right now, as you become the plane and just open to becoming that plane within the ordinary moments of living, is true alignment. It's not the spiritual high. It's building a base of your own light, your own aspect of your sacredness, and allowing it to be integrated within your life with your human part. That's alignment. That's the authenticity of that light that you uniquely hold within you, that's waiting now on the sidelines. It's waiting. The energy on the earth plane has opened up even further. That grid is so fluid now. We can move beyond its confines, back easily to align through the sacred that we are within our heart space. But you need to understand it's the mundane, ordinary moments where the revelations of yourself unfold, where you choose to slow down, not let the ego mind run the show. Breathe and let go. And be present in your own heart. This is your multidimensional tool. This is the doorway of reconnection, realignment with your sacred, with your light. And this is the time to start embracing yourself. Remember, the humanness, the sacredness. At the moment, there's been a wall, a separation here. But what you'll find will take place as you align and open through that sacred part of yourself is that barrier between the humanity, the human part, and the sacred part start to align together. Because the human aspect starts to be fortified by the love of the sacred that you are. You're not in so much turmoil. You're not into so much worry and struggle and fear, because when you come into that heart space and start to align into those moments, there's a peace and a feeling that everything is in hand, because it is. Everything is in hand. We are all exactly where we're supposed to be right now in our lives, on our paths. We are the creators of our experience, and it's the sacred part that's opening up that creation energy for you to come home to yourself, for you to come home and understand the depth of your own human element, the idiosyncrasies, and start coming back into that love and compassion with your humanness. And as you align to the sacred, you naturally begin that sacred energy, that love that you are, because you are love, starts to embrace the human element that's suffering, that's been suffering, that's been struggling, that's been afraid. And those layers of fear start to lift off the human part. And the human part starts to understand that whenever you align and have moments in your heart, it's being fortified. It's being held also and being nurtured. You are being nurtured, and your human part needs the nurturing. It needs the love. And we've been looking for love outside of ourselves. The acceptance and the love. And all we get is the mirror of what we think we are. A mirror of the way we condemn ourselves or judge ourselves. That's what you get in the world. Because the universe brings to you that which you think you are, so you can see yourself. To give you one more chance to breathe and let go and feel the depth of the pain unresolved inside of you. That's all it is. So it's about you starting to choose those sacred moments of alignment, of coming home and shifting this dynamic, because it's time. Let me tell you, the energetic profile on the earth plane is incredible right now, and we're going to be going through an accelerated rate of transformation right up to New Year, December 31st, midnight. The sun is going to reposition itself for the final third time this year. It was March 31st, July 31st, and now again, December 31st. Now, in this repositioning, last time, the sun shifted in relationship to earth and brought a level of light, of God light, down onto this planet that we had never had before. And it shifted the grid to another level of dissolving it and allowing a new opening to take place for us to come even more easily to reconnection to the sacred that we are. And that energy now has been accelerating as we move towards December. There is this corridor of light that's opening up through our planet right now that is empowering you, giving you a pathway, a clear pathway back to yourself through your heart. So it's easier than it's ever been for you to choose differently. It's just about choosing differently. I have my humanness and I have my sacred component. I'm choosing to reach into my sacredness through my heart. I'm choosing that consciously now. I'm going to hold my heart, breathe, and let go, and just let my awareness start to realign back into that sacred component of myself. I'm coming home to me. I'm coming home to me. The Pleiadians say, you are who you've been waiting for. I love those words. It's so true. There is nothing else to do but to come home to ourselves. That is our purpose, our mission in this lifetime, believe it or not, is to come back to that multidimensional sacred part. But you need to understand your makeup. Humanness, sacredness. And they can blend in together. But your focus has been within the illusion of that humanity that you are. And now you can reach even further in and align, consciously moving, consciously choosing within the moment to bring in these deeper realignments to yourself through your heart. There is it's like this highway of light, wide open. It's creating this corridor of light, this vast light. From here, you can enter that space. And it's one moment at a time, as I said, within the ordinary moments of every day. You choose, you get to choose the reconnection time. And it has to be the conscious choice. It's always going to have been your conscious choice to come back to yourself, to come home to yourself and open into that vastness of yourself. One step at a time. And just allowing yourself to start the day that way. And then to find another moment during the day to sit in the space wherever you are and be. There's been the misperception for so long, for in order us to be enlightened, we have to be perfect. And the fact is, in order to be enlightened, we have to accept our imperfection. That's the truth. And knowing that truth is empowering. It's just self-acceptance, understanding the dynamics of your own story. You're not your story. We all have one, and we've all suffered. And one bit of suffering is not more than another. You can't measure suffering. And we underplay what we've been through in our lives. You go to someone else, oh gosh, look at them. I mean, gosh, they're really suffering. But no, within your own journey and your own story, you have suffered. You've known suffering. Whether it's deep emotional suffering, physical suffering, it doesn't matter. It can't be measured. And that has been your journey to this moment, to this point. And the Pleiadians say the suffering can end. You can choose to end the suffering through that self-acceptance of your imperfection. You're not a victim. You've chosen your path. You've chosen your story, your experience. And many of us have certainly walked a path and have a big story that we have played out in this lifetime. It's true. And it's about embracing that, but not being a victim of that, of understanding how you've created it for your own experience, and then not blaming yourself for not doing it properly or not doing it perfectly or making the wrong decisions or choices, but just letting go. Can you let go of your story? Because part of letting go of your story, you actually let go of your persona, that mask. And that can be scary. But think about it. Can you let go of your story? Because that's not who you are. And that's part of what supports you just aligning and claiming that sacred part. Because when you let go of the story, you disarm the ego mind. It doesn't mean you'll do it perfectly, but it only takes one moment of choosing to let go of your story. Everything shifts. You change the cycle within you, and you actually move into alignment to another part of your sacredness. So you open up. Can I just let go and know I've done the very best I could in each moment? And you take a conscious breath. And if you can do that just for one moment, and then the ego mind might bounce back in, but who cares? That moment you've got in, the cycle shifts. That powerful cycle of third dimensional illusion shifts within you, and the wheel turns. So open up and feel the essence and the depth of your story and the courage it's taken to live and walk your path as a human being here. And acknowledge and honor all that you have been through. You know, some people go, oh yeah, well that person's crippled, so I'm okay because I can walk. And so we totally minimize our journeys. Every one of us has great courage to have walked this human pathway. And it's an important element of self-healing and liberation to own that. Not to wallow in it, because you're not a victim, but to own it and claim the path you've walked and the courage that you have. And to just hold yourself with that love and compassion, that human part, for all the suffering that's been. And then can you let go of that? Can you move on from that? That's another question you have to ask yourself. And if you can't, that's okay too. But if you can, for one moment, again, you shift the cycle. And something happens and you begin to be able to align even deeper within the sacred part of yourself. You know, it takes courage to live and do things differently. We've lived the human story we have for lifetimes. And now we're living our sacred story as well. And being willing to make a little space for that, even more so. Taking those moments and just being with yourself, with that sacred part here within your heart. And building that format, that connection. Coming home to yourself. And as you do that dropping away, like the shedding of old skins, old belief systems, because you begin to emerge into a truth and an understanding and clarity for yourself as you align through the heart, as you come back to that sacred part, one moment at a time. Being willing to let go and trust. That's what it is. In that moment when you're in your heart, You take a breath. You're not looking for an agenda. You're not looking for anything. You're being. Just being is enough. To allow yourself to be just for that moment in time. And just take a breath and let go. And as you do, as you come into that heart and you take a conscious breath, and just let go, then you're just being and you're aligning far more than you think you are. And the ego mind will always assess. And its assessments are totally based on misperceptions. So you just need to take another breath and let go and just be in that moment. And when you do that, that's alignment. And other cycles, old belief systems just have to fall away. Because you align to another level of energy, of essence within you that is beyond all understanding. But it's a pure moment within yourself. And it's about just being willing to take another breath and let go again and just be. And that might be enough. That's a lot. 3 breaths, 3 moments. And it might be time then just to come back and go, okay, I can feel that through me. And that energy will fortify you and hold you because you've moved into another level of alignment to the sacred that you are. To that very important part of your own being, your sacred being. Let's take a breath right now, just a conscious breath. And just let go. Yeah. And I can feel like the essence of that opening through the space here in the room. And when you allow that alignment within that moment, you naturally form alignments to others through their sacredness. That's when you naturally begin the realignment back to others, to their God consciousness state. And that's when the state of oneness, of realignment happens between a group. And if you as a congregation can do your own inner work, when you next meet, you'll be more for each other. Not through trying, just because you'll be carrying an aspect of your light active. It will be active in the cells of your body. Your cells of your body will be vibrating with your light, with your sacredness. Through that one moment of letting go through your heart. Your frequency shifts. And what does that mean? Your cells vibrate with a different energy of light. And that doesn't go away. That stays like humming, like a heartbeat of light through the cells of your body. And you are carrying that which you are within you, active. So you start to activate the spiritual profile of yourself with that alignment. And that builds in momentum, one moment at a time. And it fortifies you So that when the very intense moments of drama happen in your life, you can feel the essence of yourself, of that sacred part, holding the humanity, that human aspect. And maybe you don't get so disengaged in the illusion of the drama. You can witness it and breathe in that moment. Go, whoa, okay. This is not of truth. This is just drama. And you start to witness the illusion around you. And you don't engage in the same way. It doesn't mean you don't care. It just means you don't become part of the drama and add to it. You remain stable inside yourself because the light that is within the cells of your body that you have brought in, that you have realigned to, that sacred part of yourself is active through you and fortifying the human part. It's a simple process, and it's so simple, sometimes it's hard for the human part because we always look to make things more than they are, and this is simple. It's your way home to yourself, to this sacred alignment. And it's what we have said yes to. This is the greatest mission we have said yes to fulfill in this lifetime. Is coming back consciously to the sacred that we are, to understand our sacred component and actively begin to engage and align to it in the most simple moments, so that we begin to become spiritual beings having a human experience. And our human aspect becomes fortified and supported and healed by us. And we have always been the ones to heal ourselves. We must be our own healers. And this is about taking back your power. And this little one knows that. Taking back your power. And being present for you, with you. And within your heart, this is the very center of the universe. Within your own heart space, you are within the center of the universe where all things arise and manifest. This is your multidimensionality. So I really hold the space and the platform for each one of you to step forward now with yourself. And just look at a daily moment with yourself, a daily moment. More if you can manage it, but one moment is enough. You are enough to bring yourself back. You're the only one who can bring yourself back into that light that you are. And I can look out and I can see each one of you, the unique beauty of your light. That's part of my gift, is witnessing each one of you in your brilliance, in your unique brilliance that you are. And just reach into that heart with your awareness. And start drawing from that brilliance and flourishing in that which you are. So be it. So thank you, everyone.
the vastness of the ocean. In the vastness, I am free. I am. I am breathing the ocean. I am breathing the sea. I am flowing in the beauty. In the beauty, I am free. You can sing these I ams with me. I am. In the stillness of the ocean. In the stillness of the sea. Comes the sound of all hearts beating in creation. Comes the symphony of all life in every galaxy. I am.
All right, this is good.
This is good.
How beautiful. I get to see the baby here. So let's open up into this beautiful circle that we are, each one of us making a point of light in this circle that can go outwards across our planet, touching all of humanity with the love that we hold together in this circle. Ashatai. Ashatai ah. Ashe om, ashe o. Ashe o. So be it.